and it's just my final thoughts on the CP3.8. So guys, starting off with the traction, we have herringbone traction pattern combined with the pattern which has now been seen on the 29, the Superfly, and now this model. In my opinion, I played in this outdoors and indoors. Outdoors, it's quite pliable, so I wouldn't use it outdoors. It's definitely going to burn down very quick, and the traction wasn't that great indoors. So if it's not that great indoors, it's definitely not going to be that good outdoors. And when I say not great indoors, it wasn't that great on a relatively clean court. I mean, if the court isn't immaculate, you're going to kind of struggle. You're going to have some slipping. You're going to wipe really often. And I found the traction to be, in a way, quite disappointing. I mean, it is herringbone, so you'd think with herringbone it's going to grip the floor really well, but for some reason you get a lot of slipping in this shoe, and it really picks up the dust very easily. Like I said, the court which I played on was a relatively clean court, and it was picking up dust a lot, and I found that I was slipping on a lot of moves that I was trying to do, and I wasn't able to go past my defender because I wasn't having the confidence to take that first step, knowing that the traction wasn't really there under my foot. So in terms of traction, it's not, you know, the worst traction I've ever played in, but it's not the best either. It's definitely just one of those average tractions where you're gonna have to wipe quite a lot to, you know, to maintain adequate traction. So in terms of cushioning, we've got a zoom in the forefoot, and we've got a Lululong crash pad in the heel. Now, cushioning, for me, was probably one of the best aspects of this shoe. I think that although the cushioning in the forefoot is not like an unlock zoom, you could definitely still feel that the zoom air was there. And in the heel, making heel strikes was, you know, maintaining a high level of comfortability, and I wasn't getting any heel pain either. So it goes to show that the Lunalong in the back was definitely doing its job, and the zoom in the forefoot was also doing its job as well. So in terms of cushioning, I think the shoe itself has very good cushioning. In terms of materials along the upper, we've got fuse and some kind of mesh material along the side and inner panel here. Now the fuse starts off very stiff, but in fairness, I didn't have that much problems breaking it in, and I'm going to get onto that in a minute. But in terms of the materials itself, they do keep you locked into the shoe. You've got flight web here, which also does a good job keeping your foot locked into the footbed. Now, what the materials don't give you a lot of is ventilation, and unfortunately on this shoe, ventilation is definitely not its strong point. I mean, it's not ventilated at all, really. I mean, we have some mesh along the sides here and along the side inner panel here, and the tongue as well. But because the shoe itself has an inner booty, it doesn't really allow much heat to escape. So this is one of those shoes where if you were to wear cotton socks with this shoe, your feet are going to end up completely drenched. Try and wear dry fit socks if you can, although the shoe itself is not allowing much heat to escape anyway. One thing that does do though is because the shoe isn't very well ventilated, it's gonna reduce break-in time just because of the moisture and the sweat combined is gonna reduce the amount of, you know, it's gonna increase the amount of moisture in the shoe. So break-in time isn't gonna take that long. Like I said, it did start out very stiff, but you know, after a couple of hours playing in this shoe and allowing the moisture to work inside the shoe, it was pretty much broken in for me. I didn't find it that stiff at all after that. And one thing it has going for it indeed is definitely it's a very comfortable shoe. I'll give it that. It's a very comfortable shoe. You do have a heel cup in the back, stops your heel moving side to side. You've got an Achilles pillow. You've got flight web, and it does in terms of lockdown and what the materials do. Materials keep your foot locked in and are very comfortable after breaking, and it does indeed keep your foot locked down well into the shoe. So overall, what do I think about the CP3.8? Well, in my opinion, I actually think it's quite a good looking shoe. I'll give it that. I don't think it's that bad of a looking shoe. I mean, you know, when you look down on the shoe, it does look quite nice. Like I said, the materials used do start off quite stiff, but you know, ending up when it's broken in becomes a very comfortable shoe. It's got good cushioning, which is great. Unfortunately, the traction isn't quite up to par. Of course, CP3 is not going to have that much issues with it because the courts they play on in the NBA are absolutely immaculate. So most shoes are going to perform well on courts such as that. But on your average, you know, moderately clean courts, outdoors, You know, outdoors, don't wear the shoe. I wouldn't suggest it outdoors at all. On moderately clean courts, you can wear the shoe. It's not going to hinder your performance to the point where you can't play at all, but it is going to need, you know, excessive wiping to keep the, you know, keep the grip adequate. And you know, if I were to rate this shoe, it's an average shoe for me. In some areas it performs better than average, but unfortunately things like the ventilation and the traction bring the grades down for me. So it is an average shoe. If anything, I didn't get a chance to play in the CP3 last year. This is actually the first CP3 that I'm played in. But judging by the reviews which I've seen on YouTube as well, I suggest maybe just getting the CP3 from last year. Better traction and better overall grades, I think, in my opinion, that I've seen on YouTube. So from watching those videos, I do enjoy the shoe, but I wouldn't, it's not one of those where I would regularly play in it. I'll play in it every now and then when I want to break it out. If by any chance I'm playing on a very, very clean court, then I'll break it out. Like I said, it's got some very good points about it, but unfortunately it has some bad points about it as well, which means that the grade does get dropped. So if I were to rate this shoe out of 5, I'll probably give it a 3. Just because, you know, 3.5. Like I said, it's got some very good points about it, but it does also have some negative points about it as well. So that's the end of the CP3 performance test, guys. This is obviously the .8 model for this year, and obviously coming up to the middle of next year will be the same model. I hope you enjoyed the performance test. You know, leave a like if you enjoyed the video, comment and subscribe if you haven't already, and you know, I'll be seeing you very soon, guys. So as always, take care.